Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at 14363 Talawa Drive here in Oregon City. We're located on the right side of the home, kind of in the, looks like an RV parking area here. That's if you're looking at the front of the house from the street. We have a 3-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. We're going to zero out right here at the bottom of the cleanout. We're going to take another look at that area there when we come back out. My camera's kind of catching on something there. It looks like we do have some standing water here in the first part of the line. We'll reassess that when we come back out at the end. When it comes to bellies in the line, which are what cause standing water, I start considering repairs once you've got around an inch of standing water for at least 5 feet. But I've also got to see some level of buildup or backup evidence, something of that nature, in order to actually justify a repair like that. A lot of bellies, even significant ones, still all take a particular storm of events to actually act up on you, like balling your toilet paper up, putting paper towels down the pipe, stuff like that. Make a transition here over to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. At least that appears to be 4-inch. We'll take a second look when we come back. That might be 6 there. Right up ahead here is the main lateral connection at 74 feet. Now we're going to let the whole line drain out here for a couple minutes before rolling back in. We'll have a much better view of everything when we come back, and then we're going to go locate the terminus. I located the camera head successfully. The line terminates at the main out here on Talawa. The line shoots up just to the right of the driveway. That's if you're looking at the front of the home from the street. We got a little bit of water trickling through. It's just about done draining. It'll be all drained out by the time we get back to the belly. We've got one little stringy item poking out from the joint here, which feasibly it's possible for it to be a root. I'll go locate this. Unfortunately, even if it is a root, there's so little showing here. I can't tell you if that's a root, some kind of dental floss string, something like that that's gone down the sewer pipe and just got caught in the pipe joint, which is a very common occurrence in sewer lines. Lots of stringy things go down them. So I'll go locate it real quick to see if it looks like it's in the vicinity. But at this point, I mean, all I could do is call it a possible root intrusion. You'd have to rescope the line in time. But just immediately looking at it, there's no root tips flaring off the end of it like most roots do. It's the only thing that it looks like a root about it is it's kind of a stringy looking item. Other than that, it's not displaying as roots generally do. Alright, located this area here, so it certainly is in the vicinity of a tree. It's smack dab in the middle of the sidewalk, or almost 8 feet deep here. But it is near a tree that's running up, that's on the curb strip. But at this point, I'm just not comfortable recommending a spot repair on that. There's just not enough showing there, in my opinion, to with certainty tell you it's a root intrusion. It is very possible, and it could just simply be coincidence that there's a little item stuck at a pipe joint in the vicinity of a tree. But a lot of this line is near some kind of tree. Once you're about halfway up the driveway, there's arborvitae and stuff to the right of the driveway. So anyway, at this point, what I would recommend is rescoping the line in about a year to see if anything changes or grows. But there's just not enough there. And it's kind of if it were to be a root, it's kind of an odd looking one. It's bleached out white in color. And generally, roots will flare out on the end. Most of them do anyway. And I have seen oh my gosh, probably 8, 9, 10,000 root intrusions. And anyway, the fact that it's coming off a pipe joint like that makes it look like a root, but everything else about it, there's just not enough there. So this, I think actually, I believe this is bellying out here to 6-inch diameter pipe, now that the line's drained out. We're going to call it 6-inch. Pull back here and take a look at the standing water at the start of the line. And it almost felt like my camera was going over excess pipe glue or something like that too at the start. Well, right here at the top of the pipe, you have a line tying in. That would appear to be a test T connection or test Y. And we're only probably 3-4 feet away from the transition to PVC pipe, so it's a very normal thing to see in that location. That's where you generally put your test Ts, or right before the transition to the larger diameter PVC pipe, or just larger diameter pipe in general. It's been that way for a very, very long time. But it does not appear to be a party line or something like that where the neighbor's connecting in. You got a little excess pipe glue right there, that little knobby thing sticking up. That is glue. And we do have some standing water here out around 26 feet. 27 feet. And you do have grease buildup. The belly, though, is teeny, teeny, tiny. I mean, I don't even think you have a 1/16 of an inch of standing water here. But if you put grease down your sewer line, it will build up even when you have the most minor amounts of standing water in the line. That grease and oil hits the water and hardens up, cools down. But that's not a belly I'd recommend doing a repair on. I would recommend cleaning the sewer line, however. One, it will remove the grease and debris buildup there in that area. But it will also, if you run the proper type of machine through, it'll cut that little knobby piece of excess pipe glue out of the flow line, which is not a huge gargantuan thing, don't get me wrong. You got another one right here too. It's the exact same scenario. You got excess glue in the flow line there. And again, very thick grease buildup here. That stuff's almost 2 inches thick there on the sidewalls. But another, well, up until this point here, very, very minor standing water. It's I mean, hardly even a 1/4 inch of standing water. It's not a belly I would recommend doing a repair on. It's far too minor, especially justifying tearing up the driveway over here. But I would recommend this line be cleaned and re-scoped. Get all the grease and debris buildup out of the line. And it's hard to see, but right here, my camera kind of runs into it. You've got excess pipe glue right there in front of the camera lens. So it's hard to say if a machine going through there would smooth that out. I have a flex shaft machine that might actually smooth that out a little bit. And the issue with the excess glue here is it can lead to blockages. This is most of it sitting to the left of the camera there, somewhat out of the flow line. But it took a little bit of oomph to get my camera to go over the top of that. And so you've got excess glue here, as well as this joint. And those things look small. You'd be surprised at what something like that can catch on it, especially if someone puts the wrong kind of thing down the sewer line, like a paper towel or a tampon or something of that nature. And then we're going backwards right now, back into the home. Yeah, I would recommend this entire main line be cleaned out and re-scoped here. You've got very thick grease buildup going back into the house. So that's what I'd recommend here. We're 15 feet back into the home. Get all this junk out of here. It's very, very thick. I mean, right here, you got inch thick grease buildup. And if I go much further, my camera lens is going to get completely gunked. So I recommend the entirety of the main line be cleaned out here, both interior and exterior. The auxiliary branches coming off of that, I can't tell you what those look like. It would appear that basically the main trunk line is where most of the grease is at. If you look at that Y connection there versus the one straight in front of us, you can see the difference. All the kitchen sink stuff is coming down this branch and not that branch to the left there. But this thing has certainly clogged up before. You've got grease deposits 360 degrees around the pipe, at the top of the pipe. So that I highly recommend doing. As for the standing water in the line, and this just looks like some debris that got caught here on some hair. I'd like to see the glue smoothed out and the grease removed, and then a rescope to go back in there and just get a better look at stuff. You've got a lot of grease buildup in the pipe.